Okay, I was hoping to film this before my hair appointment, but I am currently late, so I guess I'll have to talk to you when it's over. There, that's much different. I was kind of sick of being blonde for so long, so I wanted to go a little bit darker. But I feel like, you know when you like get your hair done and like no matter how good like the hairdresser is, they never style your hair like how you usually style your hair. So this is not how I style my hair. Like it's too like puffy. I feel like with the short, if it's too rounded, I feel like I'm just giving like 90s like Rachel from Friends vibes. So I'm gonna go home and fix it before I am on camera for too long. Okay, I'm back at home. So what's the point of this video, you ask? There isn't one. Just kidding. This is all of the books that I recently added to my TBR and the reasons why. I like to do these videos. I say I like to do these videos as if I've done them a bunch of times. I've literally just done one other one. But I like the idea of keeping track of all of the books that I have recently added to my want to read and talking about like what it was that made me want to read them. In the sense of like which booktubers it is that made me want to read these books, like how they described them. It's usually one of two things. Either like I've already heard of the book and just the way that they described it, or like the reasons why they liked it, or like the books that they comped it to like made me then want to read that book, or it's the first time that I'm hearing of this book from a certain person. So first I have Every Time I Go on Vacation, Someone Dies by Catherine Mack. And this one I heard of because of Kayla from Books and Lala. And this is about a author of like, I think it's like a mystery series, and she is on a like book tour and she really just wants to kill off like one of the characters in her books because it's like a real life person that she knows that she was like involved with, and she just like wants him like out of her books, out of her life. And then he shows up to this book tour saying that someone is trying to kill him in real life. So then, you know, they have to go amateur sleuth it. And she comped this one to Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson, which is one of my favorite books, and Finley Donovan as well, just like the tone of those things, and said that it's just kind of like that direct to reader kind of style that I loved in Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone. And also, what else did she say about it? Oh, because she's like a writer, it's also about like, talks a lot about like the publishing industry and like Goodreads and like book reviews and like that kind of thing. And I loved that aspect of Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I know it's a totally different tone, but like similar kind of like, you know, topics of discussion that I find really interesting. And then so there's that one that I recently added because of her. And then another one, again, because of Kayla. What was it? It was Autobiography of Red by Anne Carson. This looks silly. And that one she read in like trying to find a 5-star from every year she's been alive. And so it's an older book. I think it's from like the 1990s, like 1999, I want to say. And it's a book written in verse, and it has a different format, and I never would have heard of this one if it wasn't for that video. And I love books written in verse, and I love books that just have like a different format. And this one is it's like a retelling, like coming of age story of Heracles and someone else, I can't remember, let me see. It's about Geryon and Heracles, and it's just like a love story, but like a coming of age story. And it just sounded like a really good short read. I'm a sucker for a book that's not going to take me long. Like I'm a sucker for something where I can read a full book and it can take me no time, but I've added like a whole book to my tally. So that is definitely one of my favorite things. And this one's written in verse, so it's going to be like short and sweet. I guess I'll stick with Kayla as well and talk about a book that I have actually read by this point, and that is Brat by Gabriel Smith. And this one is kind of weird. I didn't actually like end up loving this one as much as I was hoping that I would, but what intrigued me about this one, how she described it, is just like like it's really lowly rated, and like one of those books, like she said, she didn't think that like anyone would really like it. And I tend to have similar tastes with her, especially of like lower like rated things and kind of like weird. It's just like weird. Like the book was just weird. I'm not explaining it very well, but just like her describing like how weird this book was, and like that it has a really low rating and that like not a lot of people would probably like it, just like really intrigued me. Because as well, when I find when books are lowly rated or people like don't like them but don't think that other people will like them, I just get so curious. Like I'm just dying to find out like what it is about the book that is like making someone think that someone's not gonna like it, and then it makes me want to like, am I gonna like it? Am I gonna hate it? Like I just want to find out. Even if like I think I'm gonna hate it, like I just want to know. And I didn't hate this one, but I didn't like love it as much as I was hoping I did. I think I gave it like a 3.5. But you're following like a guy who just is like a hot mess. Like he doesn't have his life together. He like pisses people off all the time. He's very unlikable. His parents have recently passed away, or his dad has recently passed away. His mom is in a care home, and they need to like deal with like the house and like the estate and everything. And so his brother and his sister-in-law like kind of task him with like cleaning out the house, and instead of like doing that, he just like makes like things worse, and like the house is like falling apart and his like skin is peeling off, and he keeps finding these like short stories or like these like this like videotape, and like every time he watches it like something will change, or every time he reads it something will change. And then that is also apparent in the stories that he is reading and the videos that he's watching, like the similar things are happening. So it's kind of like things that are happening in his life are, or sorry, things that are happening in like the media that he's like consuming like by his parents are then like happening in his life. So it's kind of like, she called it like cyclical and meta, and I liked the sound of that. And like that's exactly what it was. Like it's kind of like, what is happening? Like, is this real? Is this guy like losing his mind, or is like weird stuff like actually happening, or does he just think it's happening? Oh, and the other thing that made me want to pick it up based on what Kayla was, how she was like describing it and talking about it, is it's like written in like kind of like short like vignettes, and it had like some like mixed media elements in there because like of the like videos and like the stories that he's watching. And I always love a book that, you know, has like that like short vignette style, again, because it's easy to get through. I don't know why I'm holding my hair up like this. I'm trying to decide if I want to like pin it up. Whenever I get my hair done and it like is shorter, I feel like I get so much more volume in my hair, and I'm not used to it right away. So it like, it feels too thick. And so I feel like I need to like get half of it out of my face because like it just feels like it's so thick. And I feel like it looks weird when I first get it done. Also, this is super uneven. Do you see that? I feel like I need to get that fixed. The heck? Yeah, I need to get that fixed. Sorry, I'm just distracted by how uneven that one part is. Like, do you see it here? It's like, and then blah. Okay, so this next one was because of two booktubers that kind of made me want to read it. Kayla intrigued me about it, but then didn't like it. And then Katie Colson read it and loved it. So then like it piqued my curiosity again. And that is My Husband by Maud Ventura. And Kayla was describing this as like a book about obsession. It's about a woman who is just like obsessed with her husband and how much like she loves him, and then she doesn't feel like he loves her the same, and then I think she just kind of like spirals. And yeah, she said it was about obsession. It has short chapters, so that intrigued me. But then she compared it to like the narrative voice of some books that I didn't love. So she compared it to Death in Her Hands, which I hated, Comfort Me with Apples, which I didn't like, We Spread, which was okay for me, and The Echo Wife, which I did like. So I wasn't planning on reading it because in that video where she read it, she also didn't like it, and I have pretty similar taste to her. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna like it, I'm not gonna bother. But then Katie Colson read it and absolutely loved it, like gushed about it, and compared it to, what did she say? She said, I think one thing that she compared it to A Dowry of Blood, which is one of my all-time favorite books, and Gone Girl, which I haven't read the book, but I liked the movie. And I also have really similar tastes to Katie Colson. So I was very curious to see like, I was like, oh, I'm either gonna hate this or I'm gonna love it. I have actually read like the first couple chapters of it and it didn't like grab my attention, and then I was reading like other things, so I like just like kind of put it on the wayside. I didn't like fully commit to DNFing it, but I'd like read 2 chapters and then I haven't picked it up, but that was like a few months ago. But I definitely am still interested in reading it, and like mainly because I'm just curious, like, you know, if I'm gonna hate it or if I'm gonna love it. Okay, I'm okay with my hair. I feel like my hair looks really weird on camera right now, but like it looks cute in the mirror. And that's all that matters. I have to get used to this like brown because I've like, you know, been super blonde for like a really long time. So this is a total change. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm knocking things over. But yeah, I need to go pick up my daughter and run some errands. And so I will talk to you about more books at my next stop. Okay, next stop is HomeSense because I need to get some decor. I only have like I have a front area in my house that I have like seasonal decor, and I have fall stuff and I have Christmas stuff, and then I have summer stuff. And so I have like nothing in between like Christmas and summer. So it always feels weird because like it's February, but I still have Christmas decor. But then it's like if I put my summer decor out, like it's still snowing. So I need to get something for that area to kind of bridge. Anyways, so next books that I want to talk about, speaking of Katie Coulson, I want to talk about a book that was mentioned in her, like the video that she does every year of like Booktube's favorite books. And one of the books that was mentioned is a book that I like was already interested in, but just seeing how many people talked about it, not just, thank you. My daughter just gave me her sucker.
I don't want it anymore.
You don't want it anymore? Okay. Where's the wrapper?
It's right here.
Okay, I'm gonna put it back in the wrapper.
Okay.
Quick break. Yeah, was just seeing how many people had it in their favorites, and a lot of people that I have similar reading taste to. And that one is about a couple who live in a house, and then one day someone comes to the door and says that they used to live there and they want to come in and show their family around. And then they go in and weird things start happening. And yeah, just seeing like how many people loved it and how like popular it was with like so many like people just makes me really excited to read it. Next, I have 2 books from Lexi, and these ones she mentioned in like a thriller horror book recommendation video. And for these ones, this falls under the category of I hadn't heard of these books yet, and this was the first place that I had heard about them, what put them on my radar. And the first one is Loot by Jennifer Thorne, and she described this one as like for fans of Midsummer, but like you're too scared to watch Midsummer. And I love the idea of the movie Midsummer, but there's no way that I'm watching it. It looks terrifying, but I would be interested to read about that in a book. So Loot is about this idyllic island called Loot, and it's kind of like, you know, a utopia, but one day every 7 years, 7 people die. And then there's like a newcomer to the island, and then she is there on the day, and it's horrifying. And yeah, it sounds really good, and the cover is stunning. And then the next one that she mentioned was Home is Where the Bodies Are by Geneva Rose, and this synopsis also just sounded absolutely amazing. And it is about 3 siblings whose mother dies, and then they go to like look through her things, and they find a home video of her mom and her dad having seemingly murdered someone, and then it's like what they kind of do with this information. And yeah, that synopsis just really did it for me. But anyways, I'm gonna go and try to find some decor, and if I'm successful, then I'll show you what I got. Okay, I was very successful. So the area that I'm trying to fill, there's like a vase, and with that I switch out like the fake like flowers and stuff in, and then there's like a bookcase with like 3 shelves. So for the vase, I got these like greens and then these like black sticks. I got this little guy, this gold clock, this globe, Gulf of Mexico, this green circle, and this bowl with this potpourri. That smells good. There's also so many books there, but some of them were like still very close to like full price. Like I saw Funny Story by Emily Henry there, but I don't have any other Emily Henrys, and I didn't want to Like, I'm like a completionist. Like, if I have like one, I feel like I need all of them. Like, I'd want to buy then like all of her books. And I haven't read Funny Story yet, so I don't even know if I like it. But I did find Pride and Prejudice and Emma by Jane Austen. And I haven't...
My classmate.
Yeah, okay. And I haven't read these yet, but they're just like so cute, and I thought they were really pretty, and I do eventually want to read them. So, and they like weren't very expensive. So I also got a puzzle and some socks if you care. Okay, so now back to the books. So I saw Sid from Sid Bookworm talk about Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson in a couple videos, and she said something very specific about it that really made me want to read it. She said that if you were let down by Comfort Me with Apples, which I was let down by Comfort Me with Apples, and I really want something that's like the vibes of that, but like that, you know, I'll actually love. And she said it was like beautifully written, and like there's like plot twists, and just like she was just gushing about it, and I'm very intrigued. Oh my gosh. Okay, where was I? Let Down by Comfort Me with Apples, check. Beautiful writing, short, plot twist, kind of goes a little bit off the rails. It's about two girls that kind of become obsessed with each other, that have like a stall at this market. Like, one is selling like soaps and other things, whatever, and yeah, they just become obsessed with each other, and it's short, and it just sounds really good. And then the other book that she mentioned in her overly specific book recommendations video, she talked about The Spell Shop by this author, and I've seen a couple people talk about this book since, but I saw it on her page first, and she said it's like cozy, similar to Legends and Lattes, cozy fantasy. Said it made her laugh. I'm always looking for books that make me laugh, and I love like a good cozy fantasy. And she said it was about like a librarian and a sentient snake plant, and honestly, like, that's all I need to know. But I think there's like a mainland and an island, and then there's like a fire on the mainland, and then they take all the books from this library and they flee to the island, and then she opens up a spell shop, and she's selling like jams and like little like magical spells to like the people there, and it's like a small town kind of like community feeling, and it just sounded really cute and cozy, and I love cute and cozy lately, so I'm excited to read that one. Okay, the angle might have changed because my memory card just ran out of space, so I had to delete a couple things. The last book that I'm going to talk about is I saw mentioned by Jan Agaton, and that is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. This one falls under the category of like, I knew this book existed, I, you know, had seen people talk about it, but I wasn't really interested in reading it because I'd never seen anyone, like, I hadn't seen anyone as of yet gush about it. But I did see Jan gush about it, and it made me really want to read it. She read like a few lines from it, and they all sounded like so beautifully written, and she comped it to Addie LaRue. And I have seen so many things like recently that like are comped to Addie LaRue, and none of them have really lived up to the hype. I recently read A Short Walk Through a Wide World by Douglas Westerbeek, and that's comped to Addie LaRue, and it wasn't it for me. It didn't do it for me. So I really want something that is actually going to be similar, or give me the similar vibes and feelings of Addie LaRue. And she absolutely loved it and gushed about it, and it made me definitely want to read it. Don't ask me what it's about though. I honestly have no idea what it's about. I'm pretty sure it's just like a historical something. I don't really know, but I will read it eventually. But yeah, those are all the books that I've added to my TBR recently, and all of the reasons why. Thank you for watching if you did, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.